The fact that Lollipop Chainsaw never got a sequel is a crime. Lollipop Chainsaw is Evil Dead, Totally Spies, Dead Rising, and Legally Blonde thrown into a giant bowl mixed together, and Lollipop Chainsaw is that baby. You have no idea the addiction that I had to this game when I was a child. I felt like somebody, and I do mean somebody, finally heard my prayers when I asked for a girly gore game. Like, this game was my life. This game was my aesthetic. This game is still my aesthetic. What am I talking about? Everything about this game is such a vibe that it is a crime that it never got a sequel. It deserves a sequel. Everything about this game is amazing. The characters, the animation, the gameplay. I love every ounce of it. But as I played the game, the original game, because I really dislike the repop version. I don't know, the repop version feels like it sucked out all the colors and the fun. But as I played the original version on my PlayStation 3, I realized something that I never saw before when I played it as a kid. And that is, oh my gosh, this story is about Juliet becoming a woman. And I know you're gonna say, didn't you talk about this before with other characters? Yes, I have. But hear me out on this, because this relates a lot to a lot of things that's currently happening in the world, such as incel culture. Yeah, that shit is like, oh my gosh. Like, if you know if you are like, sorry, let me be, how do I say this? If you are in today's world of random stuff happening in the world, apparently this dude named Andrew Tate got arrested, and he's in Miami, and because of this we got like hordes of dudes walking down the streets demanding daddy be free. I'm not kidding. I refuse to hop on the metro and even be around those people. I'm just grabbing random clips online. Thank you, Watts TV, because I refuse to even go down there to see that garbage. Anyway, I want to talk a bit about how this game relates strongly to today's world of dating, incel culture, and blah, blah, blah. But before I get into that, I gotta explain the story real quick, so let's get to that.
Jeez, so emo.
So the story is kind of broken up into 5, I'd say 6 chapters, because the final chapter, and each chapter has a different setting as well as gameplay and plot. So chapter 1, we are introduced to our main character, Juliet Sterling. And I don't know why this makes me laugh, but also makes me feel uncomfortable, because as a kid I didn't really understand it, but as an adult I kind of see the issue. Juliet welcomes us into her room.
Welcome to my bedroom. Don't think that me letting you in here is an invitation for any funny stuff. I mean, not that I have a problem with funny stuff. Especially not if you really like the person. But that isn't what I wanted to talk about. Today is, as they say in Spain, my cumpleaños. That's right, my birthday. I'm 18 today.
Now, normally this would be an, okay, that's fine kind of thing. But kind of how Juliet makes it sound, it feels kind of like, well, no, let me take that back. How the game makes it sound, it feels kind of like a, I'm still a kid, but I just turned 18 kind of vibe, and you're gonna see why in a few minutes. So Juliet's explaining to us who she is and what she does. Well, not fully, but kind of. She tells us a bit about her sisters, she tells us a bit about her high school life, and she tells us a bit about her boyfriend and how she's about to tell him a big secret, and today's my 18th birthday. Again, how they emphasize that she just turned 18 is kind of weird in my opinion. We're gonna get into that. So the game starts, and eventually zombies are everywhere, and Juliet runs a bunch of zombies over with her bike. I love it. Seconds later, she pulls out a chainsaw and just starts massacring a bunch of zombies. I love it. There is no wait time. There is no what's the big reveal. She just goes slashing and dashing like a beautiful majestic eagle. I love Juliet. So as she is destroying zombies and helping her fellow classmates get out of the danger zone, she eventually heads into the courtyard where she's about to be jumped by a zombie. But her boyfriend, Nick, saves her at the last second. Because Nick didn't know that she was a zombie hunter. So he did it, because he loves her. So he gets bit, and Juliet has to do the unspeakable.
Listen, I know it's stupid. We just started getting serious, but I wanted you to know. I know I've never said it or anything, but I kind of sort of, love you. I fucking love you. Oh.
Nick. There's something we can try. It's the only chance we have to save you.
Juliet? What the fuck?
I love you too, baby.
She has to separate his head from his body. And I loved every second of this plotline. Hear me out. And this is not me being mean or anything, but how many games, like just off the top of your head, can you think of without looking it up, where the female protagonist is saving her boyfriend slash lover or whatever? There's not really many games about that. There's probably a few off the top of my head. What was that game called? I'll just put the picture on screen. I'll remember it eventually, because I can't think of the name, but I know the game. But there's not really that many games where a female protagonist is the one saving her boyfriend, or at least the male counterpart of her love. And I love that about Juliet. It's one of the many fantastic plot lines in this story. My issue with this, though, is how Nick is kind of used as a viewpoint to look up Juliet's skirt, which I really hate, because you can actually have a head on the hip and not sexualize the character. Hell, look at Kratos, but we're gonna get into that later. So she separates Nick from his body to save his life using magic. And it is at this moment where Juliet has to tell Nick that she is a zombie hunter and her job is to basically kill off monsters, because I think she kills off a Sasquatch at some point. After explaining this to Nick, she travels through the school helping more students while also trying to figure out what happened. And as she traverses the crumbling building that's set on fire by bombing zombie monsters, I need to watch my words, YouTube's not nice, we eventually meet her sensei, Marika Sensei. He's her sensei.
Zombies gives me total wood.
That's a weird thing to say.
Sensei!
Ah, Juliet. One moment, please. Hey, Rasai! Juliet, it looks like you've really gotten ahead in life.
My teacher, Morikawa Sensei, is the most amazing veteran zombie hunter ever.
Oh.
Ah, correct. I have studied the zomboid sciences for 40 years. Listen, both of you! The school is in dire trouble. My research tells me that something has gone wrong on a cosmic scale.
That's a massive bummer.
That completely sucks.
Let me show you. The universe is composed of 3 dimensions. The land beyond words, the rotten world, and our dimension, Earth. There are dimensional walls between each. Using a combination of black magic and explosives, someone cracked the wall between Earth and rotten world. And the gases of rotten world seeped into our world. Your friends and fellow students inhaled these gases, which transformed them into the undead. Well, whoever did this could be trying to open a permanent gate between here and a rotten world, which would be catastrophic. Unfortunately, once they have become zombies, there is no return. All we can do is clean up the school, kill the undead, and stop the bomber. That is our mission. The bomber is either in the cafeteria downstairs or the courtyard. You destroy the zombies in the cafeteria. I shall look in the courtyard. I'm counting on you both. Kill the motherfuckers!
Yes, Sensei!
I'm not even gonna. No, we'll talk about I'm mispronouncing his name already. Oh my god. I used to be able to pronounce his name. Whatever. Think of Master Roshi from Dragon Ball. This guy is her sensei. He taught her the art of killing zombies, and is also very wise with the world of the living, the dead, and what have you, right? So he's in the school also trying to figure out what's going on. Eventually, he and Juliet split up to try to investigate different parts of the school to see what's up. But Juliet is jumped by a bunch of bombs, so she gotta escape the building. Outside, we see the guy who caused all the problems. This dude is named Swan. We'll get into Swan later, but Swan is this outcast of the school, and because of this, he decided to just break all hell into the world.
Oh! Ah!
Magna genocide, baby!
Hey! I recognize that guy! He went to school with us!
He's the one planning to open the gate between here and Rotten World. I have to stop him.
Oh man, there's nothing more hysterical to me than watching this world burn. This world, this government, this society made my life a hell. Well, now everyone is gonna know a life of hell forever.
Why did you do this to my school?
What, you didn't have time to clean out your locker, Juliet?
Hey! Leave her alone! Wait till I get my hands on you, dude!
Malicious lords, I invoke your dark forces in declaring myself God of this realm. As the pawn is present, may a ritual commence, and may the dark purveyors appear! Now! Bingham, Tally, Swash, Lingori, Yellum, Tawal, Ellie, Moraform, Tokum, Cab, Bingham, Cali, Swash.
No!
Sensei!
This world makes me want to puke. You're the one who called us here?
Yeah, that's right. I'm your new master. And I demand you initiate the pawn into the ritual and rot every living thing in the school along the way. I did it. All right, guys. Time for you to rot this entire school and everyone in it.
I think you're dating this kid. A real fucking head case.
Shocker. And the first thing he does is kill Juliet Sensei. Morikawa Sensei! Ooh, I pronounced it correctly. Okay. Swan summoned 5 dark purveyors whose job it is to spread chaos throughout the world as well as try to make everybody into zombies. Let it be known, this zombie apocalypse is only happening in Juliet's area. It hasn't spread to the world yet, and Juliet's job is to stop it before it spreads to the world and make everybody dead. So, in order to do that, we gotta kill the dark purveyors. They're like dark lords from the underworld who serve Swan in his quest to rule the world and control the dead. So the first one is Zed, and I swear to you, this man is a My Chemical reject. I swear, even Juliet says it. I know my music. Dance Gavin Dance, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, Papa Roach. I am well educated in that line of music as well as the world. I'm kind of more like an Elvira. I'm giddy, I'm cutesy, but I do like to jump into the aesthetic of that world once in a while. That doesn't mean I disrespect it on the same level as a certain group of people.
I like it. I was in college, they called me the Shredder.
Hey, come on.
Don't confuse me for those ladies. Anywho, we go into this large trash pile arena of garbage that's made up of everybody's cars. And here we meet the first Dark Purveyor, Zed. Oh boy, Zed. I actually like Zed's battle fight because it's kind of funny. He curses at you, and the words that he curses at you with, they shoot out and attack you, right? So you gotta dodge them while also attacking him. It's really fun. Also, I love his theme. Eventually, we kill him off, and our sensei comes back alive because he has to give Juliet a gift. Each level, Juliet's gonna get a new gift that adds to her weaponry. So he gives us a gift, and then he also explains to us what I said earlier. There are 5 dark purveyors. We gotta stop them before they take over the world. Blah, blah, blah. Then he goes to heaven. I'm surprised he goes to heaven because he's a pervert, but Ignore me on that. Second level, we meet one of Juliet's family members, and it is her older sister, Cordelia. Now, Cordelia is already close to the main boss already, so we gotta go catch up with her. Juliet and Nick traverse again throughout the school. This place is huge. I've never been to California. Are schools this big in California? And this school is massive. Like, they got a pool, they got an entire stadiums for both basketball and football. This place is huge. Oh, did I forget to mention that Juliet's a cheerleader? Right, so Juliet's a cheerleader, so she knows the ins and outs of the school because she, cheers for every sport. I don't remember what sport team Nick is on, but he's also a sports person. Anyway, they run around the entire school looking for Cordelia. At some point, Cordelia threw a present towards Juliet, so she decides to go get the present first before helping her sister. And it's my favorite weapon of the entire game. It's the chainsaw blaster.
Oh, I can't wait for you to shoot the fuck out of stuff with this.
Cordelia is like the best big sister ever! Chainsaw Blaster!
Oh my gosh. So you shoot out bullets that look like lipstick tubes, giving very much Bayonetta at zombies. I freaking love it. I love it. It's like Totally Spies, how they have all those cute little gadgets that look like your everyday stuff, lipstick laser, the compound thingy. Not me, just getting confused on stuff, but you know what I mean. All the cute stuff. The jetpack book bag that's in the shape of a heart. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, so we get the gun, and then we finally find Cordelia. Cordelia's in the school swimming pool, and she's telling Juliet what's going on until the next boss kind of rises from the ocean for some odd reason, and Cordelia just throws me on the boat, but she doesn't join me. Mind you, Cordelia's the older sister. You'd think she'd join me, but no. So she throws us onto the boat to fight this dude, this Viking guy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he's really nothing. Chapter 2 really wasn't that much to me because it felt small compared to all the other chapters. Mind me. So we defeat the Viking guy who has like a moving corpse bear on his body. And then we fall into the unknown. On to the next chapter. I know I'm going quick, but this video is mostly going to be on Juliet, but in order for me to explain Juliet, I need to explain the plot line, so I'm trying to go as quick as possible as I can. I'm not telling you everything that happens in the game because I encourage you strongly to go play the game, not the repop version. The repop version is god awful. Play the original. Anyway, chapter 3. Chapter 3, we land somehow perfectly fine on this random plot of land surrounded by farm life. And here we meet Juliet's youngest sister because she's the middle child of 3. We meet her younger sister, Rosalind. Holy crap, I have no idea what's wrong with Rosalind. Rosalind is on some sort of medication and the medication isn't working. It's just making things worse. So Rosalind just got her driver's license, and because of this, she decided to grab a bus and just drive everywhere and kill off zombies. While I'm not complaining, I'm also sitting here questioning, why didn't you use this bus to help people out of danger? Like, Rosalind doesn't have a weapon compared to Cordelia and Juliet, so she's just winging it, and personally I find that weird because Juliet technically had a weapon when she was just born. She admits to killing a zombie when she was just 6 months old. But Rosalind just doesn't have a weapon. That always confuses me. Whatever. So Rosalind comes in with a giant bus, she gives Juliet her present, and then she bounces. Juliet, being a worried older sister, is like, let me go check out what's wrong with this girl. So she goes around, killing off zombies, being attacked by hordes of weird creatures, infusing with the land, so things are getting bad. As Juliet is trying to get to Rosalind, weird stuff begin to happen. For example, she's attacked by a 3-headed chicken. Some trippy acid stuff is going on. Eventually we reach Rosalind, and Rosalind is acting hella weird.
Hurry, Juliet, get in! Rosalind! I was worried about you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I guess. This stupid bus broke down, but I fixed it.
Hey, Rosalind. Nice meeting you up close.
How did you fix the bus, Rosalind?
Just last week, you had to take your car to the shop because you didn't know cars needed oil.
How could you know how to...
Rosalind, where are we going?
Rosalind? Hey.
You're great.
Turns out, Rosalind got kidnapped, and this isn't Rosalind. So we are now taken to another boss fight. This is Mariska.
Who the hell are you?
Oh, Sister Juliet and Brother Nick. Let's travel to the land beyond the doors of perception. Step outside the boundaries of your mind. Lose yourself in the eternal, collective unconscious. And rot.
Listen, lady, why don't you try using some deodorant? Because honestly, you smell like shit.
This one was just as insolent.
Rosalind!
Now, open your heart and let my music guide you into the world of everlasting peace and rot and hell.
It amazes me how I'm barely pronouncing some people's names, but I couldn't pronounce Morikaya Sensei's name earlier. I apologize. Anyway, Mariska is the third Dark Purveyor, and she's kind of like a hippie chick. I forgot to mention earlier, all the main Dark Purveyors are like based off of music genre. Zed was like the British hardcore rock and roll kind of music vibes. You know, think of Sex Pistol, The Clash, maybe The Damned, Iggy and the Stooges, those kind of things, along with like Fall Out Boy, Dance Dance, Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance, blah blah blah. Vicky, who was the Viking boss in the second level, I'm assuming he's based off of possibly indie music. I could be 100% wrong. As well as Viking music. That's not a genre. I apologize. But anyway, Mariska is clearly based off the, you know, the funky acid music of the, you know, late 90s, flower power, Woodstock kind of theme. And she's a very peaceful Dark Purveyor. So she doesn't really attack Juliet and insult her like the other two members, but you know, she still is a bitch, so we gotta kill her off. We eventually kill her off, and we learned that everything that was happening earlier, you know, the giant three-headed chicken, everything was in our brain because Mariska's, you know, that type of acid-like character. We find out that Rosalind was never with Mariska and that she got kidnapped by the fourth Dark Purveyor. What's his name again? Josie. Okay. So Josie is the disco, funk, pop kind of guy, you know, the 80s, Studio 54 kind of vibe type of dude. That's his musical genre. And he kidnapped Rosalind and he took her to an arcade, which is very fitting for the theme of him as a music genre because, you know, neon lights, sparkles, blah, blah. So Juliet is trying to figure out how we're going to get back to the city because we're stuck in this, you know, in the bumfuck of nowhere. Luckily for us, Daddy comes in to save the day. Do I remember Daddy's name? No, I don't. Anyway, so Daddy comes in, he grabs Juliet, he grabs Nick, and then he drives all the way to the arcade to go save Rosalind. We move on to chapter 4. I don't know how he knew that Juliet was over there. I'm going to assume she has a tracker device and her chainsaw because for some odd reason there's also a phone connected to her chainsaw. Oh yeah, we talked to the mom throughout the game, but that's not really important. So Daddy picks us up, we go to the arcade, and we have to go and save Rosalind. And I love this level because besides the arcade vibes and everything, I love the mini games that we play digitally. You know, there's this own version of Pac-Man in this game. It's very fun. Eventually we meet Josie at the top and we see that he has kidnapped Rosalind. Luckily for us, Daddy has snuck in the back, so he's taking care of Rosalind while we have to take care of Josie. And what I find hilarious about his boss battle is that eventually
I just identified an unidentified flying object and we're freaking standing on it. A UFO?
we end up on a UFO in the sky. For Dark Lords, they're very creative. So we're on a UFO and he tries to hold Rosalind at gunpoint when we're about to land the finished blow. But Daddy comes in and saves Rosalind and grabs her at the last minute, allowing us to destroy the UFO and escape with a lollipop in our mouth. Chapter 5, The Last Dark Purveyor. The entire family is now together, and we are now coming up with a plan to defeat the last Dark Purveyor and save the world. As this is happening, Nick is tired, and if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I kind of am on Nick's side here. He's tired of being on Juliet's side as she fights a bunch of zombies because everything about this is new, and again, I'm kind of on Nick's side. Like, the dude just lost his body and he doesn't even have time to process that. And also, the entire family kind of just disrespects Nick, except for Cordelia. Cordelia is very respectful towards Nick, but everyone else kind of just shits on Nick. Rosalind makes fun of him. The dad just hates him. So he kind of begs Juliet to just put him to the side and be like, hey, you go do you, I'll be in the sidelines. But she forcibly takes him with her on the next journey to defeat the next Dark Purveyor against Nick's will. Again, I'm kind of on Nick's side. Girl, you have no right. Thank you for saving Nick, but like, give the guy a break. But oh no. So she takes him, and throughout this chapter, the two are just fighting because Nick wants to be left behind and Juliet's like, nah, you're coming with me because I know zombies will find you and eat you. So after exploring, killing, and, you know, doing random stuff, because the family is also helping on this level, such as Rosalind with this damn wrecking ball trying to kill me, we eventually meet the last Dark Purveyor, and he is clearly an Elvis ripoff or something like it, and which is ironic because the final boss is very similar. So this guy's name is Louis the Legend, and he's kind of the rock and roll zombie. And I hate his boss level because, well, let me take that back. His boss level is kind of cool, but I hate him because, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Like, he eventually hops on an elephant at some point. Oh my gosh. We kill him, and then Swan makes an appearance. Remember Swan? Yeah, he's the one who summoned all the zombies and caused all of this. He reveals the reason why he decided to drown the world in horror, guts, and blood. He's just like, I was bullied, and you didn't like me, so I decided to make your life a living hell. And then he...
Bitch!
You know, thus summoning the dark... He basically summons the devil zombie guy, which is Elvis. I'm not even kidding. The final Dark Purveyor, or the big bad boss, the final boss, is Killabilly. Is his name a reference to Kill Bill? Who knows? But this man is the final boss, and he's just a giant Elvis. He's so gross. He's so gross. Even his description is just messed up. He's so gross. So now we gotta kill him. And in order to kill him, we gotta go inside him. Yeah, we have to cut him open, go inside his body, and kill him. And you know what? I hate it. I hate every moment of it. And when we finally get up into his body and we finally find the weak point, we find out a heartbreaking truth.
Juliet, are you there?
Sensei?
That's his core. Listen carefully. This is your final lesson. Killabilly is a mountain of tainted flesh, held together by evil spirits. You have to send a signal from its core, commanding it to self-destruct. Once the body is destroyed, all of the captured souls will be sent back to Rotten World. Take control of his core and make him destroy himself.
How?
By detonating a Nick bomb.
A what?
We gotta replace the head with another head, and that head has to self-destruct the body. Meaning we gotta sacrifice Nick. And I'm sitting here like, we can't just explode him? No, we gotta kill Killabilly in order to close the gate to save the world from any more zombie attacks. So we gotta sacrifice our boo. And after we sacrifice our boo, he comes back. Because the heavenly gods are like, yeah, you know what? You're a good person. We're gonna give you a second chance. So we get our boo back. But he's in the body of Morikawa Sensei. And you know what? Juliet doesn't care. She's like, you're back, baby. I love you. And they run into the sunset with the family, going back home to enjoy Juliet's birthday. Oh yeah, throughout the entire game, you gotta save all your classmates. If any one of them dies, it's the bad ending because that turns Juliet's mom into a zombie and she attacks the family. However, if you save everybody, Juliet's mom is A-okay. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Lollipop Chainsaw. Let's get into the discussion of Juliet.
Oh, Mom.
Oh, Juliet, I almost forgot.
To this day, I have never seen another character like Juliet, nor something similar to her story. Like, if I had to choose a person that would come close to Juliet, I would say it'd be Bayonetta, but Bayonetta is in a league of her own. But this game had everything girly, and I love it. It was Barbie with zombies. I love it! With that being said, we gotta talk about our icon, the legend, Miss Juliet. When you look at somebody like Juliet, she would normally be the damsel in distress of most media, you know, because she is, I'm saying this kindly, the perfect, beautiful, bubbly, blonde, blue-eyed, soft-spoken, chipper character. But this game takes that concept and just twists it. Like many horror media, because this game is, a horror video game, I guess. Like any horror media, the cheerleader would be the first to go, normally. Or rather, the blonde, giddy character would be the first one to go. Think Jules from The Cabin in the Woods, or Casey from Scream, or maybe Paige from House of Wax. I just saw House of Wax recently. Juliet's character would not normally survive in a horror setting, and that's what I love about this game. It twists that narrative and makes her the slasher, the predator, the one you least expect to be saving you in the end. The only other character I feel like that would actually match Juliet as a horror icon in this way would kind of be Baby from the Devil's Rejects, but she's a villain, so that's different. Anywho, I just love how she views the world. When you slice open a zombie, you're not seeing blood and guts spill everywhere, you're seeing sparkles and rainbows and hearts and stars. And I just love how Juliet is able to infuse her fighting skills with her cheerleading moves, creating a dance-like fighting style. She's also hilarious. I love adult humor. I don't mind cursing in media, but a lot of dark humor in adult media is mostly just sex jokes and people saying the F word all the time. And while this game does kind of have that, it's able to mix in normal teenage dialogue. For example, when she makes the joke about
Zombies gives me total wood.
That's a weird thing to say.
Juliet understands exactly what she's saying right here. She's using the words correctly, and she's expressing sexual joy when she kills off zombies. But it comes off more as a joke than it does as something gross. And that's what I love about this game. It's able to write this dialogue that would sound correct coming from a teenager like her. They don't go deep into the vulgar words. They try to keep her sounding as much as a teenager as possible. Like, no way! And coolio! Like those type of stuff. She's perfect. She's perfect. But with perfection comes problems, and that is with Nick. Juliet had no right to take Nick after he begged her to just leave him behind. And yes, I understand he would have been eaten eventually, but still she should have respected Nick. And yes, I do feel like Juliet was kind of holding on to Nick kind of like an object rather than a person. Her separating Nick's body did come from an act of love, but as the game progresses, it really does show Juliet has little cares for his feelings. It is only near the end when she finally listens to Nick and allows him to sacrifice himself for the greater good. And Juliet needed to learn this as a person, because she is still a child. So in my eyes, there are many things that she needs to learn about, and this is one of the things that she needed to understand as she progresses into adulthood. Which leads me to my next part. Womanhood. Yes, it is Juliet's 18th birthday. It is made clear at the very beginning, and all of this is happening surprisingly on her 18th birthday, which sucks. But Juliet becoming 18 just as a zombie apocalypse happens really plays into the negative horrors of being a woman, if you think about it. By becoming a woman, she's literally disowning her love as a child. For example, she's slaughtering her friends, and something she remarks about.
Better get out of here.
Okay, that was sad killing my friends, but also so fun!
By killing off the zombies, she is metaphorically separating herself from her childish social bubble. But I think the biggest example of this is the sexualization that the game puts on Juliet. There are many upskirt views of her rear, and the game even encourages the player to look up her skirt. You even get an achievement. Weird. Even her own teacher, a respectable adult that she cares for, is gross and talks about her panties.
I will be watching you from above, so please, in my memory, have Juliet do plenty of cartwheels while wearing those little white panties with the teddy bear.
What did he say?
Ugh. Then you have to look at the villains and how each of them represents a negative trait of Swan, who is the man who is in love with her. Zed is a vulgar zombie that represents antisocial life in school. Vicky was overbearing and violent. Mariska was the false sense of safety and love. Josie was the predatorial abuse. And Lewis was basically toxic masculinity, literally a representation of the cruelty of women from the past.
Tell me more. Did she put up a fight?
And all of this was because of Swan. Swan, ugh. Okay, Swan was bullied. Yes, that is 100% true. He was bullied, and he was mocked because of who he was, and that's an awful thing. The problem is, he blames Juliet for the apocalypse. Why? Because Juliet didn't return his feelings. Juliet stuck up for him and protected him from bullies, but Swan never admitted his feelings for Juliet. Eventually, Juliet would fall in love with Nick, and Swan would get mad at this, and decide to cover the world in blood and guts. And to me, that's the dumbest thing ever. Swan didn't have the balls to talk to Juliet. And that is his fault. Because Juliet and Swan have a lot in common. They both love the undead. They both love the dark and weird and unknown. What would have stopped Juliet and him from being a couple? Nothing. But Swan. He didn't ask Juliet out. He didn't even try to be her friend, even though he wanted her, and that right there is the problem. Instead of recognizing Juliet as a human being and trying to form a healthy relationship with her, be it that of perhaps friendship, he decided to, be a sourpuss and summon the devil. What a bitch. Also, remember how I said earlier that this relates to incel culture? Swan is an incel. He believed that he had ownership of Juliet, even though she barely knew his name. She stuck up for him once because she was nice, but that wasn't an invite to date her. As I said, perhaps they could have been friends. Heck, if Nick wasn't in the picture, maybe they could have dated. But no, he's mad because she didn't validate his weird, sick fantasy. Again, Juliet did nothing wrong to him but be kind and stand up to his bullies to protect him. So when he said to Juliet, "You're just like the rest of them," he's basically holding up a mirror to himself, not realizing that Juliet is not the person in the mirror. But instead of actually sitting down and recognizing the pain that he had and how it caused him to turn into a monster, just like the people who abused him, he instead...
You, bitch!
Yeah. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of Lollipop Chainsaw and how Juliet is an icon. Thank you very much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe. And if you like my art, check out my TikTok. Have a great day, everyone!